Hi! So today we're talking about fear. Now, fear is one of those things that can really cause us a lot of pain in our lives because we so often believe that fear to be real, to be the truth. It can prevent us from reaching our goals. It can prevent us from doing all manner of things, feeling uncomfortable, worrying about our relationships. So when we can learn to control that fear, it opens our lives out to a much happier place. So hi, my name's Catherine, and I'm in the car today because weekends are always a bit busy for me. So needs must. So why am I so passionate about talking about fear? Well, yesterday I did a short about OCD, and I used a comparison about my phobia of worms to illustrate that fear is actually something we create. So, for example, I have a fear of worms. I have always had a phobia of worms, yeah? So if someone was to say to me, can you go and pick up that worm? Immediately inside of me, I am like frightened. I'm just completely fearful. Whereas my daughter, she does not have a fear of worms. So for her to go and pick up a worm, there would be no problem. Now, a worm isn't going to cause me any harm. Worms are pretty harmless, aren't they? So that fear I have, if we imagine that fear, we can see that actually there are two people. There's one person with a fear and one person without a fear. So we can see that the fear that I have has been created by me. I've created that fear. Yeah, because it's only me who fears worms. My daughter doesn't fear worms. The guy next door doesn't fear worms. I fear worms. But that's because I've created that fear around the thought of picking up a worm. And once we can learn to discover that fear is an illusion, it really changes things, because actually we realize we can do so many things that we thought we couldn't. So fear of failure, yes, things that you want to do that you don't do because you're worried in case they don't work out, or you're worried that you're not good enough. What happens when you take that fear away? That fear is like a blockage. Yeah, it's like it's like a blockage that's preventing you from moving forward. And very often with fear, when we actually face our fears head on and we walk in through them, the fear just evaporates. Recently, on another video where I was talking about boundaries, I think it was that video anyway, I was talking about how I had recently developed a fear of opening my post. This is because things have been a bit financially difficult for me recently, and I was so worried that every letter that came through my door was going to be someone demanding money from me, money that I didn't have. And as my fear around this grew, and as I stopped opening my letters, the fear just got worse and worse and worse, until I'm just constantly walking around with this fear around my financial situation, around opening my post. And after posting my video and promising you guys that I was going to face my fears, I am now opening my post. Because once I pushed through that fear and I started the process of opening posts and managing the problems that were in the post, I sort of thought, well, actually, I don't need to fear this at all. So I have now consistently been opening my posts. I faced my fear. Yeah. And it's just something I feel very passionate about because I think it's not something I had thought about before. Yeah, we can get wrapped up in fear, and fear can be quite disabling. It can really keep us stuck. Yeah, so have a think about something in your life. What are you fearful of? Now, if you were to think about whatever you're thinking about, if you were to take that fear away, yeah, remove that blockage, what then would happen? Because I often, I'm not the only one, there are great philosophers out there who talk about this, about life, letting life flow, yes? So looking at nature really and seeing how the world around us functions perfectly, doesn't it? Without any interference. Trees grow, rivers flow, and they work perfectly. So it's about sort of trusting the process, trusting that life is unfolding in the way that it's meant to, and removing those blockages. And what are the blockages? Well, the blockages in Jungian terms are our shadow side. Yeah, the things like people pleasing or jealousy or anger, or those sort of negative emotions that that really cause our lives problems. So when we can recognize those, yes, so fear being one of them, and remove that blockage, it's like we're letting things flow. And as we let things flow, that's when life flows for us, and it gets a lot easier. Yeah. I was watching someone the other day, and he did a wonderful explanation of how we are consciousness. Yes, we're consciousness, and I see that consciousness inside of us as like a light. Yes, it's like a light force, because when we die, when we die, our body is lifeless and the light has gone out of it. Our soul has disappeared from that body, and the body looks different. Yes, so that consciousness, that light inside of us, is very powerful, isn't it? Yeah, and we all have that. And I believe that that consciousness connects, yes, and that when we die, our consciousness joins everyone else's consciousness up there. And you might believe that too, you know, and whether you believe in God or Allah, or just you have a sort of spiritual belief, yeah, it's all sort of all leading to the same thing, a higher source. And I see that very much as the light, and that our shadow side in the Jungian sense, our shadow side are those things that sort of dampen the light, yeah, and they put blockages in, preventing the light from properly flooding out, shining out, because ideally that's what we want to do, isn't it? We want to like let our light shine, yeah. And how do we do that? if we're constantly facing our shadow side and dimming our light, yeah? So if we're constantly, if we're allowing those fears, we're allowing the negativity, we're allowing all our sort of self-sabotaging ways to overshadow the light that is inside of us. Yeah? I'm much better at writing. I'm not so good at explaining verbally, but yet we have this light inside of us, and so that we can shine brightly, so we can be our full best selves, we have to look at those shadows and work on them. And fear is just an illusion. I've been making a lot of videos, well, not a lot, but I've been making a few videos recently on OCD because I have a family member who has OCD. And OCD is something that really is debilitating for those who suffer with it. And it's all thought-based. So they have a thought. So, for example, they have a thought that they've touched a steering wheel. This is just an example. And then they have a fear around that thought. That fear is, I've touched the steering wheel, and so I am contaminated. And then that fear leads on to, if I don't wash my hands, I might pick up disease. That fear grows and grows and grows. And when you're with someone with OCD, to help them, it's helping them understand that fear isn't actually real. That fear is just an illusion. Yeah, it's just an illusion around the thought that you're having. But that works with all of us too, yeah? Because we all have these thoughts, don't we? Yeah, we all have these thoughts. I'm not good enough. I'm never going to succeed in life. Oh, nobody likes me. Everybody thinks I'm... Yeah, all these sort of negative thought patterns that we tell ourselves. We are very good at telling ourselves stories about ourselves, yeah? Who's going to like me? Who's going to find me attractive? Who's going to think that I'm worthy? Yeah, we're very good at telling ourselves these stories and believing them. Yeah, we believe them. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, there's so many amazing people out there, and we're all different. And once you can see the shadow side in you and break through it and let your light shine, it feels like freedom. Okay, I think I will leave that there for today. I hope I made sense. I feel very passionate about this, actually. But I'm not sure if I've explained it in the best possible way. But yeah, I just want everyone to sort of feel that light within them and not let their shadow side hold them back from living their best life. Okay, well, hopefully you will all have a wonderful day, and we are just aiming to find that peace within us so we can send our love out. Sending you so much love and light. Have a great day. Oh, please don't forget, always appreciative if you could comment, like and subscribe. Come and join us. Come and have some discussions and tell me about the shadow side of yourself that you are facing and the things that you might try and put in place to let your light shine. Okay, have a great day. Bye.